Hey, your old pal Nickfil here. I got the day off. Let's find some comic books. Come along with me. Let's see what we get.
Hey all, so I just got out of Fletcher Toys and Games here in Fletcher, North Carolina. I've never been in the shop before. I always was curious about it. They got a bunch of signs and stuff out, and I'm not really a toy guy, so I never really got in there. But I saw online that they had some comic books, and the owner was like, "Oh, we have some." So I was like, you know what? Let's check it out. They had a long box in there. Every single comic was a buck 25, I think. And she was like, I just put them in there and I don't price check them. And, whatever's in there is in there. Like, knock yourself out. So let's see what I got. By the way, place is great. Tons of vintage toys. Fantastic. So, I got a bunch of old DC Checkmate, which, I don't really know anything about, but it looked kind of interesting. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. Gold Key Mickey Mouse right here. I have a couple Gold Key books and I kind of want to get more just in general. They seem kind of interesting. My wife really loves Archie, and there was a bunch of vintage Archie in there, and she has only ever gotten digests. And so I was like, these are old kind of beat vintage Archie stuff. I thought it was cool. I figured pick it up, buck 25. How can you not? Picked up, and the long box, truly a grab bag, as you're gonna see as this unfolds. Generation X and Excalibur. I kind of want to start getting into X-Men. Like, I barely read any X-Men in my life, and this is kind of like the prime era of when I was reading comics, and I kind of want to get into this. Plus, if you're of a certain age, Chamber's your guy. So, I'm always gonna pick up a book with Chamber in it. A Wes Craig book that I know nothing about, but I was like, you know what? It's Wes Craig. We'll give it a shot. I don't know how to pronounce this title, but the art looks amazing. I followed a couple tutorials put out by this team, just to hone my skills and stay sharp. And so I saw the issue and I was like, you know what? Buck 25, sure. Rossimo Martian Manhunter, heck yeah, get in the pile. Strange Adventures, I feel like these don't need any explanation. Mitch and Evan, great art. Of course, I'm gonna put it in the pile. Speaking of great art, this one was kind of out of left field. A Bug issue by Mike Allred, sold. And finally, something that I don't see a lot, isn't worth anything, but this is a Marvel epic book called Gun Theory. And when I was in Xylenol Studios, when I was just starting working for Lee Lowridge, John Proctor was also in there. He's the artist who drew this, and I don't think he's made anything else other than this Gun Theory book. And I remember there being a lot of hype behind it. And then he was in the studio with me every single day, so I saw a lot of the art get made. I actually have a Gun Theory promotional, original drawing for promotion that was just left in the studio as the studio was shutting down. Nobody wanted it. I nabbed it, and now I have a Gun Theory issue. Also, now I told you I'm not a toy guy, and I'm not. They had some stuff that tempt me. There was a couple Ultraman figures that were this big, and they would had magnet bases, and I was like, oh, I kind of want those. And then they had a lot of vintage He-Man, a lot of they had a Castle Grayskull. They had a Voltron that was $150 that was vintage, and I was like, maybe. but although I'm not a toy guy, I am a sucker for a pack of cards. So I picked up Doomsday cards from The Death of Superman, Desert Storm cards, which I don't know what the heck those are, but we're going to find out. Vintage Batman cards from the movie. And then also, speaking of the movie, Secret of the Use cards. So I love trading cards. I try to put like trading cards in with any online order that I get for in my online shop, or I try to put them in with like when people come to cons, like I'll throw them in like with the issues that they buy or whatever. So little bonus. And so I'm gonna enjoy cracking those and enjoy getting into those. You should check out Fletcher Toys and Games. If you're they had like a few video games, a couple Super Nintendo cartridges, a lot of Atari stuff, some newer stuff too, Xbox One stuff, a lot of like sports games, that typical kind of thing. But man, if you love vintage toys, you got to check out Fletcher Toys and Games. A lot of Trek stuff. They had a whole spinner rack of like old Malibu Star Trek stuff. This place rules. And I asked them how often their long box turns over, and the woman said, every once in a while. So, I'm gonna pop back in and check that long box. Above the long box, by the way, a Star Trek comm badge signed by Jonathan Frakes. Fucking rules. Love that store. A godsend. Please go there. Hey. I hit up Needful Things, an antique store, and I'm just gonna throw some photos up of like stuff that you can find at Needful Things. It's an eclectic mix. And I saw on the site this photo. I'm gonna put this photo up too. I saw this photo of a bunch of short boxes, and I was like, oh man, I bet there's some gems in there. I regret to find out that that was their comic book guy, and he had quit, I guess, 2 months ago before I got here. So there was barely any comics, but there was a few. So I picked these all up for $5 each. I'm sure I got a little bit robbed, I'm sure, but I saw some stuff that I wanted and I got it. I picked up Weird Western Tales Jonah Hex. I haven't read a whole lot of Western stuff. I haven't read a whole lot of Jonah Hex stuff, but I figured that would be a good place to start. Because I cannot help myself. I picked up Darker Image. This is, of course, sealed with the card. Of course. Darker Image #1, this is the first appearance of the Max. I can't not buy this book. I buy this book every single time. Every time. And then they had a full run of John Byrne's OMAC, which the one-man Army Corps here, of course, Jack Kirby creation. I don't know if this is going to be good. I haven't honestly read a lot of John Byrne's stuff, so I have no idea, but this seems cool. It seems prestigious, and this was made by DC. Gosh, I don't know what year. It doesn't have a year on it. It's suggested for mature readers, so, could be cool. All right, it's the end of the day. Since Needful Things was kind of a bust because I missed the comics guy by a couple of months, I head to some old standbys. Went to Comic Envy in Asheville, and I got a bunch of stuff. I picked up Monster Piece Theater. This looks bonkers. It's Godzilla versus the Great Gatsby. Tom Scully, like an artist's artist. So, I wanted to check it out. I also picked up first 2 issues of FML. I try to pick up anything Kelly Sue DeConnick does. I don't always vibe with it, because it's very female focused, but I always give it a shot because I try to, read things that are not necessarily in my worldview, in my box, take a shot on things, So yeah, I always pick up her stuff. And my wife expressed a little bit of interest in maybe checking that out. So, why not? I also got a couple trade paperbacks. Karate Prom by Kyle Starks. Starks is also like always pick up his stuff. It's always good. I picked up Wesley Dodd's Sandman, which is I have a complicated love-hate with the old Sandman. But what I don't have a love-hate with, just pure love, is Riley Rossmo. The art is fantastic. And then finally, Wolverine Back to Basics Epic Collection. So I've been wanting to read Wolverine. I've been wanting to get into Larry Hama. And people were like, like I was never a G.I. Joe guy. He wrote a lot of G.I. Joe, and he wrote a ton of Wolverine. So picking up some Wolverine. Now this isn't his stuff. This is the stuff that came right before it. But reading this, I can kind of like get my bearings with the series, because it's like how many issues is this? This is Wolverine 17 to 30, and he jumped in at 31. So I can pick up this, read it, like it, or not like it. I don't know. And then jump in with the Wolverine Omnibus Volume 3. That's where he starts. And that's kind of where I wanted to jump in. So this is kind of a primer, even though I'm starting at issue 17. I don't know. That Wolverine stuff, Marvel, please put it in print. God's sakes. Like, I want to buy all that stuff. Like, Wolverine Deadpool came out, it was a smashing success, and all the stuff's out of print. What the hell? So yeah, we're trying some Wolverine. Thanks for coming along with me, sorting through some long boxes, checking out some pulls, going to some unorthodox stores, and some old favorites like Comic Envy.